Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem, followed by the invocation. Please remain standing as I invite upon the dais John Allow from the graduating class to come up and give up the invocation.
All right, let us pray. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we gather here together in praise and celebration. Almighty God, your grace and mercy has always been sufficient, as you have brought us all from trial to trial. We pray that you look on this event in favor and bless the many lives present here today. Also, look on the many voices, hugs, thoughts, and prayers of all that have stood behind us, supporting us over the past years. Mothers, fathers, siblings, friends, and all loved ones. May they continue to stand with us. Lord, we are grateful for all of those that have come before and prepared the way. We thank you for our lecturers, administrators, and all who have helped to shepherd us to this goal. May you continue to bless them, Lord. And as we embark on this journey, may we continue to do so with your guidance. Give us clear minds, open hearts, and strong wills to face all that may come our way. As God has called us to this noble profession, let us clothe ourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. And may we always do our best to heed the call and make a positive impact on the health of our nation. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, John. Please be seated. Good afternoon. I am Dr. Shrikant Garikparthi, consultant plastic surgeon at the Public Hospitals Authority, lecturer in surgery at the Universities of West Indies, School of Clinical Medicine and Research, Bahamas campus. His Excellency Sir Cornelius Alvin Smith, the Order of Nation, Knight Grand Cross, Order of St. Michael and St. George, Right Honorable Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis, Minister of Health and Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Dr. Robin Roberts, the Director of the University of West Indies, School of Clinical Medicine and Research, Bahamas campus, Dr. Percival McNeil, past President of the Medical Association of the Bahamas and Emeritus Pediatrician, my colleagues in the auditorium, Dr. Corinne Sinqui-Brown, Pediatrician and Lecturer in Pediatrics, Dr. Anthony Frankson, Lecturer in Epidemiology, Dr. Christine Chin, Consultant internist, Dr. Vrinda Sakarkar, consultant, obstetrics and gynecologist, and Dr. Darren Halliday. And my dear graduates, good afternoon. Today is a monumental day for all of us as we gather here to celebrate the fruits of years of hard work, dedication in pursuit of a singular goal. Every year, the University of West Indies, the School of Clinical Medicine and Research, Bahamas campus, along with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education, celebrates its MBBS graduating class. This year's graduation class is extra special. This graduation class had to endure during their final 2 years of clerkship at the school here multiple physician strikes at the hospital, upon which they were called to work as junior doctors. And then came Hurricane Dorian last year, which affected the entire country. In general, a lot of us, but specifically to some of you. We thought we survived all of that, but then came the pandemic in March. A global pandemic that we, as a small nation in size of population, dealt very effectively, showing to the larger nations how it can be done, and we're still doing it. The students were also affected by this pandemic. Their classes were suddenly cut down. They had to change over to virtual learning environment and prepare for the exams, but they succeeded. And today, we have the 35 of the brightest young minds here in this August Government House to be inducted into the medical profession as the newest doctors in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And they are coming ready and prepared to stand shoulder to shoulder with all of us to fight in the continuing battle that we have with the COVID-19 pandemic. Now I would like to call upon my esteemed Dr. Percival McNeil, one of the past presidents of the Medical Association of the Bahamas, to come and give his remarks.
Excellency, Prime Minister, Dr. Robin Roberts, Dr. Shrikant, colleagues in medicine, our new graduates, congratulations. As you open your tool chest that you have now received to begin your journey through medicine, one of the most useful things there will be the history. I will recount to you what I thought was the best history I've ever heard. So the physician is there with the patient who is diaphoretic, and he introduces himself, asks if there's any allergies, asks if any concerns. And then he says, I'm gonna have to take you to surgery. And I look at him and I say, do you want a CAT scan? He says, no. I want you to go to the blood bank and get some blood. And he takes him to surgery, and he's absolutely correct with a history that is about 2 or 3 minutes, absolutely on target. But what I didn't tell you was what went on before that. Before that, the patient called me with a problem. I called Dr. Robin Roberts. Dr. Roberts called another physician, got them involved, and he was on care, and then he went into shock, suddenly. So in the times of shock, the formal history disappears. But that's not the lesson. The lesson was we spoke to each other as physicians in medicine. We communicated. Dr. Roberts called the surgeon and had him meet us in the emergency room. And so everything went smoothly. We all knew what the diagnosis was, and it was absolutely correct. So, and I'll tell you another story. So a couple of years ago, I was at an AAP conference. I walk into this conference, and the lecturer is there, and he says, there are only 2 ways an astronaut doesn't make it in space. Number 1 is if he doesn't follow the protocols. And number two is if he follows the protocols. So in medicine, you have to educate yourself to the extreme when you know the protocol no longer exists. It's no longer valid, and you have to make this one up as you see the patient. Today's medicine requires extreme knowledge, extreme study. Our stellar performance, and I was congratulating the Prime Minister on it, with the handling of COVID, was by no accident. When the Zika outbreak took place, the WHO and the PAHO group, they came and collected Dr. Dalridges and took her with them. She has served at the highest levels of WHO and has extreme experience. She's top in the world. So, moving forward, and the Prime Minister will tell you about the budget and everything else, with limited budget, we need the best, the very best. It is my solemn plea to you to leave the industrial and the monetary things to us, our generation. Dr. Robert Roberts and I. It's our fault that we ain't fixed that yet. We need you to be extreme, top of the level professionals. That's what this country needs. I welcome you to the world of beginning to learn medicine. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McNeil, for that kind words of wisdom. I continue to learn from you every time you come up and speak something. Now I will call upon our director, Dr. Robin Roberts, to give his remarks about the university. Dr. Roberts.
His Excellency, the Honorable Prime Minister of the Bahamas, my colleagues, and I refer to you, my colleagues, today, to families, guardians, all those in the social media. You know, the most important thing is to have your glasses on when you start. This is a real special day, and I really want to welcome you all, and particularly you, the students, this afternoon. I want to congratulate you as the newest students in our faculty. I took a moment because when Dr. Shrinkard came and welcomed, he right away told you how exceptional you were. This was not a good year for you, starting off with the strike, then Hurricane Dorian, and then the pandemic. So you've actually been tried already as to what to expect as you progress towards becoming professional. But you know, these hard times, I'm always reminded of one of my patients when she had some really difficult times. And she said, you know, Doc, I read my Bible, and it says often, and it came to pass, but it never said it came to stay. And so I want to say today is an indication that your hard times over the past year has come to pass. And so you can really breathe this afternoon a great success for going forward. This has been a great year for our students in the examination. Of the 35 students that sat the exam, 31 passed, and we had 11 of them with honors. And so we'd also have 4 students who took the exam in November, and so we have 34 students, 35 students with us today. So I really want you to stand so that we can applaud you. Please stand. But more importantly, as we are streaming live and as we are on ZNS, I want you to give an applaud for your parents, your guardians, your families, and your friends. For they have sacrificed much for you, and this is the one time in their lifetime that they are looking forward to seeing you today. And so I want to apologize to them that because of COVID, we were not able to have our grand event like we do, but I could feel their spirit in this room. Please sit down. In addition to thanking your parents and families and friends, we want to thank the governor of the Bahamas for their continuing support of you, our medical students. For many of you, you'll represent probably the first in your family as a doctor. This could never be achieved without the government's financial support, which pays some 70% of your tuition. For the class, and we're looking at the Bahamians who are not only here, but in Jamaica and Barbados and Trinidad. For every year, that total amount of students, it costs the government about $4 million. And when we add up over the 5-year period for that cohort, it costs about $18 million for you to be here, compliments of the people of the Bahamas. The school, we have our challenges too. Last year, the government decreased its subventions. Instead of, we had 50 students in 2018, now in 2019, we only had 10 students. There's a possibility that no students in this academic year might get government subventions. We have to acknowledge that budget is tight, and there's a great need to recognize that there are quite a number of healthcare professionals needed in other areas of medicine that equally need to be supported, particularly important for us to function. But we have to bear in mind that I think for the first time we are reaching the minimal level of students that we require, that we will be able to maintain the targets that we need to have in order to provide the health care we should for our people. In addition, we must do that because we are quite aware of the epidemic of non-communicable diseases in our country. And on top of that, we have a very rapidly aging population. So our demand for health care is going to be extremely high, and it's going to continue to do so and increase every year. But for many of the students, despite the government subsidy, they still need a great amount of financial support. Many of the families, they can't support you. Quite a number of them, in reality, they have totally outmortgaged themselves. I've spoken to quite a number of them, taking out second mortgages in order for you to have the education that you have, because quite a number of, most of our students had a prior degree before they came into medical school. And so we set up a student financial assistance program in which students could apply for funding, and some 15 to 20% of our students apply for that. We also know that Hurricane Dorian exposed how tight our families run their budgets. Some students enrolled in the school, those parents who were in Freeport and Grand Bahama, they not only lost their households, their household belongings, and their homes, they also lost their jobs. So Hurricane Dorian has been quite a catastrophe for them. And for those students who were depending on that support, they came to us. Some couldn't pay their rent or get bus fares to come to school. Some couldn't even afford to buy food. So I really want to thank our Foreman Foundation, our Consultant Physician Staff Association, and our UWI Medical Alumni Society, who came to the rescue of these students when we went out and asked and we made a plea to support them. We raised some $27,000 to support our students who needed some hurricane relief or other funding at this time. So we have to ask ourselves, when we look at the amount of monies that have been invested by the government, by your family, and so forth, we have to ask, are we getting a good return on our investment? I say without reservation, absolutely. We are getting a great return. To date, over the past 21 years of our UWI school at the Princess Margaret Hospital, we've had a total of 513 graduates, of which 87% are Bahamians. In fact, over the last 10 years, practically all of our classes have been Bahamians. And as you will see in this class, just looking around, we have a major challenge down in times to come, because 80% of our graduates, close to 80%, are being females. So men out there, we have to ask that question, how do we not change that, but how do we recreate the balance? Because it is really pleasing for me to see our females have the same opportunities that we have had, and they've taken advantage of it. So I really want to congratulate females in our society who have taken the opportunity to show that they are equally able to perform when it comes to medicine as the men have in the past. Normally, we will honor our postgraduate students as well when we have our event, but they didn't do their exams in June. They'll be doing it in November. But we have 7 postgraduate student programs. Right now, we have 91 students involved. And I say again, without reservation, we have had a major return on our investments. In our 7 programs to date, we have had 37 specialists certified in family medicine, 9 in internal medicine, 11 in obstetrics and gynecology, 9 in pediatrics, 8 in emergency medicine, 4 in general surgery, and 6 in psychiatry. Again, 90% of this list are Bahamians who had the opportunity to train to be specialists right here at home, and we had all the advantages dealing with that. I keep hearing in the media about brain drain in the Bahamas. I challenge this. This has not happened in the medical profession. A few of our doctors may have left, but it certainly has not been in droves. Our challenge in the country is one of deployment and a lack of career planning for our young doctors. I must admit that we have yet to provide the real career paths and the appropriate incentives to attract them. I believe that the National Health Insurance, and I really want to thank the Prime Minister in their budget debate, put on my other hat for a minute, for giving National Health Insurance an opportunity to be the catalyst for deploying our physicians and trainees throughout the archipelago. And I believe that this is what will happen. So our school welcomes this initiative, and we believe that National Health Insurance, as it expands its primary health care, will really upgrade the health care we receive in our country, and health promotion and health prevention will definitely be an integral part of what we will be doing. I also want to comment on the greatest challenge of our time, and that is the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on medical education and the delivery of healthcare services. COVID-19 presents an unprecedented disruption in medical education. Social distancing isolates medical students from his or her greatest learning environment, and that is our direct student-patient interaction. We are limited in our ability to talk with our patients, and so we miss that appreciation of body language and signals that's so important to making a diagnosis. Wearing a mask prohibits the diagnostic pulse of facial expression. So these observations are very vital to us in terms of getting our history and physical examination, which is, these are the fundamental practice of medicine. Online learning has become the order of the day. We are being absorbed into a new world of Zoom lectures, webinars, and YouTubes. And we also will note that the universities, in order to maintain their financial viability now, will have major shifts in their business models in order to maintain their revenue stream, transforming from having that resident physical campus now to an unlimited global web-based domain. Yes, delivering healthcare services online will bring opportunities for major advances in medical technology. There will be digital everything, to look into our ears, our eyes, and listen to our hearts, all from a distance. But at the end of the day, this will shake the foundations of medical education as students spend more time in simulation rooms just like pilots, as opposed to being on the wards examining patients. We stand to lose our most important skill and tool as a doctor: the laying of hands and the healing touch of the doctor on the patient. The world after COVID-19 pandemic in medicine and medical education will never be the same. So as you embark on this new journey in healthcare, and you seek your purpose and define your careers, I want you to appreciate the wide perspective of medicine, your personal career goals, and your duties, obligations, and responsibilities to self, your family, and to country. That country that has invested so much in you in this first phase of your medical career. What do you think that you should be giving back to us? The finance guru Charles Schwab tells the story of 3 bricklayers as he approached them walking by their worksite. The first was asked, "What are you doing?" He answered, "I'm laying some bricks." The second man was asked, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm making $40 a day." The third was asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm helping to build a great cathedral." So as you set out today to provide health care to the nation, I ask you, what are you going to build? What are you doing on the workplace? Are you going to be the bricklayer, one brick at a time? I look at that as concierge medicine, in which you are providing individual service, comfort care, money is no limit. Will you be the second bricklayer? We all got to make money, a lot of loans to pay, got to build a house and all that sort of thing. So that's real. Or will you be like the third bricklayer? And you realize that, yes, I really need to look at building the health care for the whole population. How do we better the health care of the people in this country that have been an integral part of making us who we are today? To whom much is given, much is expected. And so, as you set out, I wish you the best in your career and your deliberations, and I look forward to working with you all in my retired position. When I give you a call in the middle of the day, please see my patients when they come in. Really, but it has been a pleasure to have you in the school. We did not have here today our alma mater. We have the alumni president. He was not here because of social distancing. But I really want you to seriously look at what contributions the University of the West Indies has made to you and what it has made in the development of this country. And so when we ask you to make a contribution to your institution, please do so willingly. So to you and your parents, your families who supported you. I thank you all, and I wish you the best in your career.
Thank you, Dr. Roberts, for those kind remarks. And thank you for reminding me and to make us aware that we are here in limited numbers. And I really miss the presence of the family, the Junkanoo bells, the music, and the laughter and the cheer that goes along during our ceremonies every year. But out of every difficult situation, we find a solution. And today, we're using this World Wide Web to telecast not only just in the Bahamas, but anybody and across anywhere in the world who has access to the web page that they can watch you all and this program live. And for that, I really thank everybody to making this possible. At this stage of the program, we usually look at presenting awards for both the undergraduate and for the postgraduate programs. Due to the change in the exam pattern and the way the exam was done this year, a lot of awards could not be calculated upon. And so, as a faculty and the school here, we decided to limit our awards to 2. I would like to request and invite His Excellency to the Governor General to present these 2 awards. The first award is named after one of our lecturers in anesthesia, Dr. late Anthony Regis. It is given to the most outstanding student in the final MBBS examinations for the Bahamas class of 2020. And receiving this award is a very special student. He is a proud graduate of the public system and comes out of the Doris Johnson High School. He was a former busboy who worked for 4 years in the Atlantis Hotel and then went on to pursue medical career. And here today, he takes home the Most Outstanding Student Award in the final MBBS examination, Dr. Rico Hart. Dr. Rico, don't go anywhere. The second award we give is for the most outstanding student with the highest GPA, and this award is named after one of the pioneer physicians of this country, late Dr. Cecil Bethel. And this award is again going to Dr. Rico Hart, who has scored a GPA of 3.88 in his entire medical school. And not to let off, thank you, Your Excellency. There have been many other outstanding performances in this final year MBBS exam. As Dr. Roberts mentioned, we had about 8 persons scoring honors in medicine, 3 honors in OBGYN. Unfortunately, surgery, which is my discipline, none of you all made me proud by getting an honor, so I will hold that against all of you all. Now I would like to call upon and invite the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Eminis, the Minister of Health and the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, to bring remarks.
Thank you very much. Dr. Roberts reminded me that I am to be extremely brief. Excellency, distinguished guests, graduates, good evening. I'm delighted to have been asked to bring brief remarks here this evening, but I wish especially to express congratulations to both you, all the graduates, and especially your parents. Your parents and family would have loved to have been here with you today. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, they cannot be here, but be assured that they are watching you on TV and throughout the web. But I especially want to congratulate the parents, because the parents have done an excellent job, both in supporting you financially and otherwise. And you must remember that your school fees would have also been subsidized by the Bahamas government, which means that every individual, man, woman, and child, throughout the archipelago of the Bahamas, from Inagua in the south, Mayaguana, straight up to Grand Bahama and Grand Key, each of them would have made a contribution to your education. And therefore I ask that as you complete your training and embark in your practice, be it private or otherwise, do remember the Family Islands, as they too have financially supported you and look forward for you to come and assist them also. I speak to you today in three capacities. I speak to you as Minister of Health. I speak to you as Prime Minister. And most of all, I speak to you as a proud father. I'm given the honors to be here, unlike most parents who cannot. So I speak also for them this evening. Taking an oath this evening is an honor, and taking this oath, you have agreed to demonstrate complete honesty and discipline throughout your entire career. As you examine a patient, you may find that a patient may have what you may classify as terminal illness. That is, an individual may have stage 4 cancer. It is your job to tell them the truth. You cannot withhold that information from them. But it's also your job to give them hope. You must explain to them that yes, you may have stage 4 cancer, but you can recall of individuals who have been in similar situation and they have lived for a long, long time. You must always tell them the truth, but always give them hope. Throughout your career, as you examine patients, you must always remain humble and demonstrate humility. Put yourself for a minute or two in that patient's situation. You must feel their pain, not literally, but figuratively. You must feel the suffering that they're going through, and you must understand how they feel. And once you put yourself in that situation, you know that just how you treat them is how you too would like to be treated. And that reflects and takes us back to the Bible when Jesus said, you must always treat others, your neighbors, as you would treat yourself. So if you put yourself in their shoes, then you would treat them as you would treat yourself. I want to make one last comment. You are not God. You are there to help patients. And you must not make them believe that you are God. You are the physician. And you must treat them with the greatest kindness and with the greatest respect. I have adhered to my 3 minutes as Dr. Roberts had required of me. But I too, like most parents, will miss the opportunity to go through the entire formal process. So I only want to close by reminding you again that you must always treat patients with respect, with kindness, with humility, and you must be honest with them and always give them the best care that you can offer. Many of you will go on to pursue even higher career. Some will go to private practice. Some may go into research, and 1 or 2 may follow my course. I don't know who. But if you do, whatever you do, always strive to be the best. You are presently the best that we have. Dr. Roberts have informed me of how good you have done. And I am certain that you will do even better as you pursue your career. Money must not be a priority. Your priority is to get patients well. And if you do that, just as you look after them, God and the Bahamian people will look after you. I thank you very much, and may God continue to bless each and every one of you, and may God continue to bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for those kind remarks and giving the advice that these young physicians do need as they become into the practice of medicine. Please stand as we receive His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius A. Smith, our Governor General, who is going to give our keynote address and charge you, young graduates.
Pray, be seated. Thank you very much, Dr. Roberts, for not limiting me as you did the Prime Minister. The Most Honorable Hubert Minnis, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Dr. Robin Roberts, distinguished lecturers and staff, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me on behalf of the proud people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to extend warm greetings and heartfelt congratulations to you, the graduates, to your parents, and to other family members, to the medical professors, and all those other professionals who would have been instrumental in preparing you for this momentous occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, as I reflected on the significance of this afternoon's event, I could not help but recall that as a boy growing up on Long Island, the dream or the vision of becoming a doctor was wishful thinking. maybe even a nightmare. And then you woke up, back to reality. It could happen. And it has happened. And so before me this afternoon, there is a cohort of 35 young Bahamian medical graduates that include representation from many of our family islands. Even more astonishing is the fact that some 80% of these graduates are females. Congratulations, ladies. This is an event that I could never have imagined in my wildest dreams as a young boy growing up on a family island as well, and certainly not for one born of my hue. Graduates, we've come a long way in the Bahamas, and we've done it in a very short time. A Long Island colleague and a former Governor General documented her life's journey entitled From Roses to Mount Fitzwilliam. Her book is not a story of rags to riches, but it tells of the challenges that she had to overcome. Like many Bahamians who were raised on the family islands under colonial rule and were taught in an all-age, one-room schoolhouse, she never envisaged in her youth that one day she would become the Governor General of an independent Bahamas. Dame Ivy Dumont stood on this very same platform as the first female Governor General of the Bahamas. Graduates, you have the same opportunity and the abilities to become whatever you can aspire. Some 40 years ago, a young graduate by the name of Hubert Alexander Minnis stood up and he recited an oath, as you all will do momentarily. He stands before you today as Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is certainly a new Bahamas in which we live. And as a testament to this, and as a former school principal, I would be remiss not to add that your progress parallels the advancement in our educational system. Whereas in my early childhood, the early educational systems only provided an opportunity to obtain a school leaving certificate to verify completion of mandatory education at a 6th grade level. But today, a university degree has become the norm, and you can now achieve this at our own university, the University of the Bahamas. And so I congratulate your medical school, the University of the West Indies, now in its 72nd year of existence. And I have been informed that for the year 2019, the Times Higher Education magazine ranked UWI as being number 1 over 200 registered universities in the Caribbean region. The university was also ranked as being in the top 3% of more than 2,000 registered universities in Latin America and the Caribbean, and was ranked in the top 5% among the 28,000 registered universities globally. And so, graduates, you have come highly qualified. But these achievements did not come without a cost. Let me remind you that your success is the result of the commitment and sacrifice of the Bahamian people. Translated into financial terms, your 5-year training and education computes to an estimated $3 million investment by the citizens and residents of the Commonwealth of these islands. So let me also be reminded that to whom much is given, much is required. You graduates, you are our offsprings in whom we have great hopes to provide health care we need to advance our country. It is said that the health of the nation is the wealth of the nation. We are now entrusting you with the future of our health care delivery in the Bahamas. Some of you are the first in your family to become doctors. I can feel your parents and guardians' hearts bursting with pride today. I share in their joy. Now, in my charge to you today, I speak as a Bahamian with great expectations from our doctors, to whom we have been both integral and instrumental in their achievements. Let me address what I know best. Though my knowledge of medicine is limited, I certainly know what I want from my position. This afternoon, you will take an oath to do no harm and to do good. You now have a profession rooted in the ideals of compassion, of empathy, of confidentiality, and a commitment to improving the lives of others. These are ideals that nurture and cement the relationship between a patient and his or her doctor. There are very few relationships in the world that have this sacred trust, which is embodied in the social contract, patient above self. And so I appeal to that indwelling divine spirit that resides within the heart of being a doctor. For instance, would you take the time to see that patient from the family island who has missed their appointment and turns up a day late? Would you make the time to go and see them in the clinic, even though it is your clinic day off? Would you spend the extra hour at the end of the day waiting for the 70-year-old to arrive because he or she had to take the bus to get to the hospital? If your answer to any of these questions is no, then both your Prime Minister and I would ask, where is your heart? Graduates, I also want to ask, how well do you practice good bedside manners? How well do you communicate with others? I will remember the compassion, the empathy, and the bedside manners of a family doctor. While communicating to a family member and to the terminally ill elderly cancer patient that he was no longer able to provide the patient any future treatment, and that, in his opinion, the end was near. I ask you, if you were that doctor, having to deliver that sad news, are you able to say this in the language that an old senior citizen with only a grade 2 level of comprehension at best could understand? Are you able to tell them what they need to know, and at the same time advise them to prepare for the worst or to meet their maker? In short, have you taken the time to consider and to develop the art of communication and or the art of good bedside manners under these circumstances? As trained doctors, I challenge you to cultivate the art of compassionate communication and the practice of good bedside manners. I guess I'm still old school. I trust my doctor. I still believe in whatever he tells me, and that whatever he tells me, he or she, it would be in the best interest for me to act on. Graduates, you would agree that medicine has changed so much over the past 40 years. There was a time when the doctor knew best. but now the best doctor is Mr. Google or Alexia. I charge you to keep abreast with the advances in medicine so that you would not let your patients believe that they know more about medicine than you do. Just a few years ago, HIV disease was considered a death sentence. But thanks to the pioneering research efforts and management of this disease by one of our very own doctor, Dr. Perry Gomez, coupled with proper management of this disease, HIV patients can now expect to live a full and productive lifespan. Likewise, because of the pioneering efforts of Dr. Patrick Roberts in the field of pediatrics and sickle cell anemia, many lives of young children have been saved, and the pain and anxiety suffered by sicklers are being reduced. Our own Dr. Dal Regis has become a world-renowned public health hero as a result of her pioneering work in the field of public health and infectious diseases. We honor their scholarly approach to the field of medicine. Our world, graduates, is afflicted with COVID-19, and research is going on to develop a vaccine that hopefully will provide a cure. However, my challenge to you is that one of you consider COVID-19 as your special research project to unlock the secret vaccine. I also challenge you to be true advocates of universal health coverage. I believe that health coverage is a human right, and that every Bahamian has the right to access the health care that they need. Sadly, there are still too many stories of persons dying because they are unable to pay for their health care services. Non-communicable diseases are literally killing us in the Bahamas. And so I want to challenge you as young doctors to lead the charge, to be the example for your patients of a state of good health, and to make health prevention and health promotion the common thread in every disease that you treat. And finally, I ask each of you to commit to being the universal in the universal health coverage. Nassau is not the Bahamas. We have a community to serve that extends over 100,000 square miles from Florida to the north and Cuba in the south. Too many of our island settlements have no resident physicians. My dear father, at the age of 55, because he had no access to rudimentary medical care in Long Island, he was stuck with a rusted nail and for the want of a tetanus shot, lost his life. Similar stories can be heard in many of our family islands. Many of our family islands are still without proper medical care because Bahamian doctors are reluctant to leave Nassau to go and live, work, and provide medical services in these islands. What greater service can you give Bahamaland than to commit to spend at least 3 short years of professional life in service on a family island? I challenge you then to commit yourself to making the delivery of quality health care in the Bahamas both affordable and accessible to all Bahamians throughout our archipelago. I applaud the health care providers who have manned the front lines to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 pandemic in our Bahamas. With the minimum of testing equipment available to us, through your leadership and personal sacrifice, some even with their lives, many at the expense of families, friends, and their medical practice. We flattened the curve, and now we can open the country and restore it to normalcy. I could not have said it better than the head of your Department of Medicine at the Princess Margaret Hospital, and I quote, "While the task at hand is both challenging and overwhelming at times, healthcare workers consider this our calling and will keep going on the front lines." End of quote. Graduates, the physicians in this country made the call. Your courage and commitment to your social contract match that with the heroism we witnessed in the unprecedented Dorian catastrophe. I now charge each of you at the dawn of your medical career just to make that call. And so on behalf of a proud and grateful nation, I congratulate and wish you all the best as you embarked upon this exciting journey in the noble profession of medicine. It is now my duty and my charge to you to go forth in confidence, not only to make a living, but to make a difference by maintaining the nobility of many on whose shoulders you stand and those who have gone before. Once again, graduates, congratulations and the best wishes in your future endeavors. Happy Independence and good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for charging our students. You said, where is their heart? And I can assure you, not only as the teacher in the university, but also as a consultant physician at the hospital. And I did mention in my initial statement that these cohort of students responded to the challenge whenever they were asked upon. When they were asked to come and work in the hospital to assist us physicians to manage patients, they did come. And as recently during the COVID pandemic, when the government asked for anybody to come forward to help, some of our students actually volunteered in the COVID hotline. They actually went with the surveillance unit. So we are very proud of them, and we continue to see them perform better as physicians. This is usually the most exciting times for our graduation program and the oath-taking ceremony. We usually have the young graduates come up on the dais, and they are given and robed their white coat along with the stethoscope, usually by their mentor of choice. And it would be remiss on my part if I failed to mention that we at the university are only a 6 full-time faculty, but we are supported by about 80 plus of our colleague consultants at the hospital and outside in the community clinics that help us every step of the way, every minute of the day, and come up whenever we call upon their help to educate these young physicians and these medical students. So we are kind of missing them on the stage today because some of my students are missing their mentors. A few of them yesterday, in the last couple of days in the interviews, mentioned who influenced what and how they make their career choices. So I wish to thank my colleagues out in the Public Hospitals Authority, people in the private practice who actually assist us in teaching our young graduates. I would like now to start introducing our new doctors. But as I do, I would call upon each one of you, and at that point of time, I request you to stand up, pull your mask down so that the entire Bahamas can have a good visualization as to who you are, because honestly, with the masks on, sometimes I also fail to recognize who you are. So I would like to begin the introduction of our new doctors. I will start off in the front corner on my left-hand side, and we will go down the way from my left to the right, and then we will come back to the second row. Starting first, representing the diminishing numbers of male people in the cast, but is Dr. John Allow. Dr. John, I just want you to turn around so there are cameras all around, so that way everybody can see you. In fact, the Prime Minister says you could come right up to the middle, and you've been given the privilege, so turn around. Coming along is our most outstanding student of the graduating class, Dr. Rico Hart. Right there. Next, calling upon Dr. Rochelle Adderley. Next is Dr. Chanel Adderley. One of the three reasons why the Prime Minister is here, calling upon Dr. Runako Arana Mines. Next, coming upon is Dr. Emma Archer. Coming forward is Dr. Kezia Ambrister. Coming up again is Dr. Leslia Bow. Next is Dr. Davia Carey. Coming forward is Dr. Demetrius Carey. Coming forward to introduce herself is Dr. Jacinta Clark. A proud native of East End of Grand Bahama, Dr. Lyndon Cooper. This was not the introduction I wanted to give, but this young doctor wanted me to say this, that she is the youngest in her class, Dr. Christy Daniels. Coming forward is the daughter of a colleague of mine, Dr. Ricky Davis, is Dr. Shamarika Davis. Next is Dr. Sharlanda Ferdinand. One of my favorite students coming forward, Dr. Celeste Gray. Coming forward, next in line is Dr. Simone Hamilton. Next in line is Dr. Keitra Hepburn. Coming forward, a student athlete who is very passionate about her sports, Dr. Danisha Higgs. Next, I invite Dr. Andril Hillhouse. Coming forward next is Dr. Rianne Jones. Coming from Sandy Point, South Abaco, Dr. Amy Mackey. Next is Dr. Crystal McIntosh. I won't make any jokes about the next student coming forward, Dr. Zaina Mingo. Next, I would like to introduce Dr. Jamia Moss. Next coming forward is Dr. Carlton Roll. A proud native of Foxtown, North Abaco, Dr. Devonna Russell. Coming forward is Dr. Jada Saunders. Next is Dr. Taylor Smith. Next, coming to introduce herself is Dr. Yamir Smith. Coming from Freeport, Bahamas, Grand Bahama, Dr. Rashika Swain. Next is Dr. Elizabeth Turner. How could I forget Miss Eleuthera? Vonataria Simonet, Dr. Simonet. Next coming forward is Dr. Nico Turner. Finally, last but not the least, Dr. Rhodesia Wright. I call upon the entire graduating class to stand up so that everybody can look at you. This is the newest 35 doctors in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Graduates, I ask you to continue to stand as I call upon Dr. Rico Hart to come up on the dais. He's first going to lead you all in reading of the Hippocratic Oath, and then it will be followed by his response on behalf of the graduating class.
I gratefully acknowledge the distinction to be conferred upon me, and I solemnly promise that as a graduate in medicine, I will abide steadfast in all to the ethics of profession and endeavors always to promote the welfare and maintain good reputation of the University of West. West Indies. Further, in this exercise of my profession, I will have in mind the care of sick. To this end, I will use my knowledge and judgment. I will keep silent on any matter that I may see or hear in the course of my professional work, which would be to divulge. I will not permit consideration of religion, nationality, race, party politics, or social standing to influence my duty to my patient. Please be seated. Before I start, I would like to thank the Governor General for allowing us to have this momentous occasion today, especially considering the fact that we are in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. On behalf of the graduating class of 2020, I would like to thank God, our parents, siblings, significant others, family members, and everyone else who have supported us on this long 5-year journey. Without your love, support, patience, and more importantly, your prayers, none of this would be possible. To Dr. Chin, Dr. Shrikyan, Dr. Sinqui, Dr. Roberts, Dr. Frankston, Dr. Farunda, Dr. Barnett, Ms. Bean, Ms. Kelly, Ms. D, and other assisting lecturers, I say a massive thank you. The work that you have put in has not gone unnoticed or unappreciated. We thank you for your motivational speeches, your patience, and the much-needed pressure you apply to each and every one of us to ensure our success. We are also grateful for your wisdom and the information you have shared during our time at the University of the West Indies. To the class of 2020, congratulations on a job well done. We have made it. Our tears, sweat, and countless mental breakdowns were not in vain. It was indeed well worth it. 5 years ago, we left our homes to embark on this journey at the University of the West Indies. For some, this journey took us to Trinidad, Jamaica, or Barbados. We were all enthusiastic and eager to enter the world of medicine. We were filled with determination, ambition, hope, dreams, and excitement. We didn't know what we were about to face, but we know that we want to be here today. For everyone, our experiences at the different campuses were unique. However, since I attended the St. Augustine campus, I can speak for my peers and myself when I say we enjoyed Trinidad and Tobago. From the infamous Trinidad roadie and doubles to the countless fetes and carnival, we experienced it all. On the other hand, St. noted that Mona campus was its own community, and everything was a teaching moment for their seniors. It didn't matter what it was. They were always happy to share their knowledge, and that's what she missed most about being there. In regards to K-ville, John noted that their campus was small compared to the other campuses, so it was easy to develop a community. He was immersed in Caribbean culture with people from all over the Caribbean, fetes, crop over, and vibes. After the 3 years were up, I remember coming back to Nassau from Trinidad, excited but yet anxious for the unknown. My first clinical rotation was surgery. I was relieved to say the least. This is owing to the feedback I received from previous students who said that internal medicine was a difficult rotation to start on. Little did I know, surgery was not going to be a walk in the park either. Fast forward to the end of clerkship exam. I felt like I did an amazing job. So I decided to shake down Dr. Farik and ask him about my performance. He said, you know what? You impressed Dr. Barnett, but you didn't impress me one bit. And as quick as that, my life of mediocrity was diminished. I knew that I had to put in the extra work if I wanted to pass MBBS. Despite being motivated, I was faced with pediatrics, the second hardest rotational medical school. In this exam, I thought I was saying the right thing, but I wasn't saying the right thing or anything I didn't, for that matter. Dr. Johnson said to speak up, and I was like, she said, speak up, and I continued to mutter. After that experience, I know that the nerves that everyone spoke about were very much real, but I was stubborn. I didn't want to believe the nerves were real, so I decided to blame it on drinking too much coffee. And just like that, I stopped drinking coffee before an exam. I tell my story to inspire others to push past their limits, because every hiccup is a learning experience and an opportunity to improve yourself. To the class of 2020, the road was not easy, but we made it. You deserve to applaud yourselves. I know when we first envisioned this day, we saw our family, friends, and other special guests cheering us on in the crowd as we walked across this stage as our dreams finally became our reality. Don't let the circumstances of COVID-19 take this joy away from you. We finally get to wear our white coats. I know when some people see a white coat, especially the one like what we're wearing with our name engraved on it, they think about money, but a white coat is more than that. This white coat symbolizes determination, diligence, ambition. It is a symbol of our transformation and a constant reminder of our professional and ethical duties owed to our patient. We are new graduates, soon to be interned, tasked with providing quality healthcare services. I know we might be nervous, anxious, and even scared, but we have dedicated the last 5 years perfecting our skills to become the best physician that we can be. I want to remind you that you are strong, hardworking, resilient, and you have worked for all that you have accomplished. Some may consider us the COVID-19 cohort, but we are the ultimate cohort, the cohort which strives for excellence despite the array of obstacles faced this year. I know we love mnemonics, so I would like for you to remember asset, because you are an asset. A is for attitude. Your attitude will determine your altitude. S is for steadfast. Have a plan and execute it. The next S is for self-confidence. Have confidence in everything that you do. E is for empathetic. Put yourself into someone else's shoes and understand their predicament always. And T is for transformation. Never get comfortable in being in an unworthy position for too long. To the new and current MBBS students, align yourself with people that are equally as motivated as you are. You will reap the benefits. Secondly, go and have fun. Do not invest all of your time reading 24 hours per day, because in the end, you will wake up and realize that 5 years have gone and you have not obtained any new memories. In closing, I want each of you to consider MBBS as a mere stepping stone for what is ahead of us. Some of us may be afraid to take external exams because it's different, but UWI has already given us the formula. We're just going to have to face a new puzzle. Thank you. I would like to, to Dr. Roberts. Can you come, please?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you.
On behalf of the class of 2020, we would like to give you this gift as a token of our appreciation for your vision and all of you here to make this event possible. Thank you. One photo.
Okay. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Rico Hart, for that remarks. I will add one thing to that asset, and I will emphasize that continue to remember that this is just the first step on your continued learning process. And this is not going to end until you reach your ultimate goals of achieving whatever you want to do in your further career and training. Finally, I would like to call upon my colleague, Dr. Corinne Sinqui-Brown, lecturer in pediatrics and pediatric hemato-oncologist, to give us the vote of thanks. Dr. Corinne Sinqui-Brown.
This week, we celebrate the 47th anniversary of the independence of the Bahamas. And as a nation, we have much to be thankful for and to give God praise. But today, we celebrate you, the 35 newest doctors in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The class of 2020 has been tested in many extraordinary ways. In the past 2 years, you have been asked to rise and perform even before the completion of training. You had to assist when the healthcare services endured 2 major industrial actions. The call to civic duty was even more when Hurricane Dorian slammed the Bahamas, leaving some of you from Abaco and Grand Bahama with destruction of your own homes. Then COVID came along and changed how we were to be able to conduct business in every single area, school, home, country. Each and every time, you responded individually and collectively, and we as a nation are proud to know that the class has been baptized into civic duty. Thank you, Dr. Roberts, for organizing this event for this class in such a special way and in such a special place as the Government House. Thanks to our Governor General, His Excellency, the Most Honorable Cornelius A. Smith, for agreeing for us to be here and for giving us his address and handing out the awards. Thanks to his able staff for helping us with the planning and protocol. Thanks to our Prime Minister and the Minister of Health, the Most Honorable Hubert A. Minnis, for bringing us his remarks today, especially seeing that his own son is one of the new doctors. We must also thank the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band for making the event special, Dr. McNeil for his address to us as a past MAB president. Special thanks to the entire administrative staff at UWI, Mr. Michael White, Marsha, Tanya, Odia, Didi, and the core staff, Chin, Shrikant, Varunda, Frankson, Halliday, for all the other associate lecturers and tutors for the contributions along the way with the planning of this event and the work that has been given to bring you to this point. Thanks to all your parents, friends, and the entire people of the Bahamas for the roles they played towards your success. Students, you're no longer students, young doctors, remember Winnie the Pooh. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Congratulations to the newest doctors of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I salute you.
Nothing. Thank you, Dr. Sinqui, for that vote of thanks. You doing here? Right here? Okay. I'm going to invite the class of 2020 for official photographs that will be directed by the protocol officers. So let us give an opportunity for them to organize it for the official photographs. Please stand for the national anthem. please remain in your place as His Excellency, the Governor General and the Prime Minister and the platform guests take leave.